Hello, viewer. How are you doing? Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben.
Me.
On this particular edition, we're doing what we're going to be doing for the whole of this year,
Yes.
which is the albums of the 2000s. I call them the 2000s, but you call them the noughties, Ben.
I call them the noughties, yeah, because I am down with the kids on the street, innit?
I suppose it probably makes sense because 2000s. Could somebody think that means the whole century? I don't know, but
Well, yeah, because the 2000s does sort of encapsulate all of the years within that said century.
So it's that year 2000.
Millennial. Wouldn't it be that whole the 2000? I don't know.
I don't know when
I
the
think we're
millennial
looking far too
period
deeply
is.
into this.
I think we are looking far too deeply. It's the years 2000 to 09.
Yep.
We are currently, as we record this, in January, so that means we are listening to albums from the year 2000.
Yes, we are.
Seems a long time ago now.
It was. It's mad to think that, say, Coldplay's Parachutes has been, from when it came out to now, is longer than 1975 to the year 2000. That is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, so listening to a 2000 album now is like being in the year 2000 and listening to something from the mid-70s, which we, at the time, we thought was
old.
Kind of old music, didn't we?
Yeah.
I liked a lot of 70s music, but it's interesting though. I've come across a lot of youngsters now who are listening to music that is from the 90s and 2000s. So that's really the same as us liking 60s and 70s.
Yeah, but I mean, when you listen, I mean, I was listening. One of the albums I've been listening to was Marshall Mathers LP, and I was listening to it yesterday, and I forgot what a great album it is. But if somebody just handed you that, if you were unaware of when Eminem came out, of any of his songs, you were just given that. If you were some tribe on Island Philodopodus, and somebody came to you and went, King Phil, here is an album for you to listen to. And if you put it on, you would think it was from now. Because of the production, it doesn't sound dated. Old. Whereas some stuff from the 70s, where there was production, the technology and stuff, you can tell it's from like the 80s. You can tell stuff from the 80s quite clearly.
Yeah.
But I think once you get past sort of 94, 95, everything
sounds modern. Now,
yeah,
I agree with what you say. For me, when I hear these records on the radio and they're 20 years old, and I think sometimes it's one, let's say it's 20 years old and I don't really know it, and then I look it up and I find out it's 20 years old, and I would have believed that it came out last week.
Yeah,
but I don't know whether that's because I'm not as attuned to these differences, because I have heard some people I've seen some younger YouTubers talk about, oh, this sounds like it's from the 2000s, so maybe they're more tuned into what sounds...
Yeah, maybe. And maybe because we grew up with it, it's sort of within our taste range, as it were. Because I heard Justin Timberlake's Like I Love You. I just want to love you, baby. And that sounds like the pop from today. But then the Spice Girls Wannabe, I always say, sounds quite dated.
That does sound a little bit... I did hear that not that long ago, and it did sound a bit dated to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe things like All Saints, maybe not quite as dated, but
yeah. So it's weird, like you say. Probably, kids from the youth today probably do pick up on these sort of different. They're just slight differences, I suppose. But like the Talking Heads album, maybe because I know it's from, is it early 80s?
About 1980. 1980, that is, I think. Yeah.
I know that it's from that period, so it kind of sounds like it's from that period, because basically nothing today sounds like that does. If that, whereas everything today kind of, I know everything always sounds like everything else, but everything today still sounds like it did 20 years ago. Whereas 20 years ago, everything sounded slightly. There was a bit more of a genre sort of. You could tell New Romantics from something from today, and that sort of stuff. If that makes any sense.
Certainly, maybe production hasn't. Maybe it hasn't really progressed that much in the last 20 years. I don't know enough about it really in detail.
No,
but there are certain. Yeah, if you listen more to the pop stuff, I think if you're really tuned into the current pop stuff, you can tell. Like they talk about, that's got trap beats on that were in vogue about 10 years ago and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not really.
Yeah, I don't really care.
I'm just a boring old rocker. I hadn't really kind of twigged all that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. But no, back to the albums of the 2000s. Yeah, the Eminem album. Because I listened to Staconia, is it, by OutKast as well?
Okay.
Is
that the one with the thing about your mama, something about your mama, and all that? OutKast, is that the one? OutKast?
It's one with "Sorry, Miss Jackson, I am for
real." Yeah. So
maybe it was because of when I listened to it. I really like Eminem because I think there's just something about him I can relate. Not that I can relate to it on a sort of but
is it the wordsmith element?
I think so. Yeah. And I found that even though he's angry on that record, and he's exploring his identity, and there's a lot of social backlash, etc. on it. You got things like Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am, Stan, and everything on it. Even though he's angry, it feels more sort of. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's more. I found it easier to get myself into it than I did the OutKast album. The OutKast album actually comes quite highly on a lot of lists from that year. Maybe it was just the environment. I was driving in my car. It was after work, and I probably could have done with just putting spoken word on. But
yeah,
I did like Staconia. I thought it was a good album, but I think the Marshall Mathers LP just maybe because I know the songs more, maybe the singles and stuff, but it just seems to. I think when he raps about, he's got that bit of humour and everything in it. So I quite like that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the Marshall Mathers LP.
I like the one with where Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg appear on it. I can't remember what it's called now. It's kind of like an old school rap song. In the second part of the album, they pop up, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a sort of, it's kind of quite groovy.
Yeah, well, Dr. Dre does turn up quite a few times in his.
Isn't he the producer of that record?
Yes, I think he is. Yeah. But no, I enjoyed that. That's definitely up there with my favourites. I think it's whether it's going to be my favourite, who knows?
I'm not an expert on hip hop, as you know, but hip hop albums like that, they are concept albums really a lot of the time, aren't they? That you have to play the whole thing.
Yeah, because they have those little interludes, don't they? I love a sneeze. Did you see that? That was full on.
Did I mute it in time?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. It was just the facial expression you did while doing it.
Trying to get.
You don't get this on any other YouTube channel. Live sneezes. But you get a lot of these rap albums with the funny little interludes in between and stuff like that, which some people don't like. I find them quite humorous. Sometimes you kind of just think, just get on with it. But it's so it's up there. What about you? Have you been? I've got a couple more I've been listening to as well. I've listened to 4 this week.
Well, I don't want to go on some of these too much because some of these are acts we talk about a lot on this show anyway. Well, you've heard this one.
Oh yes,
I do still gravitate to this in all its flawed glory. It's
something made me think about that this week.
It's one of those that it's kind of become popular to knock it amongst a certain section of fans, hasn't it? It's sort of like but I kind of like. I don't want to use the cliche transitional album, but obviously this was when some of them had left the band and they'd had a big bust up, and so it's got that whole sense of things on the verge of falling apart, having to find a new way
Yeah,
to
it's
carry
sort
on.
of the hangover, isn't it, in the morning after being
Yeah.
now.
I think that's what makes it. I do like the production by Mark Spike Stent. I think he did a good job on this. I think he sort of reinvented the Oasis sound without losing the band totally. And
I've never been sold on
the logo.
Yeah.
No, but I suppose they just wanted to have something that was I guess it was the new decade at the time, wasn't it? So they wanted to have something a bit different. Otherwise, it would have been stuck in the 90s.
Well, I was listening to the U2 All That You Can't Leave Behind, and it made me think of this, mainly because, as we all know, and I bring it up a fair few times, the line, I can see a liar standing by the fire.
Yeah.
And how that lyric is sort of, he probably just went, that would do.
It's so bad it's good.
Yeah, and then I was listening to Elevation by U2, and the line, a mole digging in a hole, made me think of a liar standing by the fire.
That's always stood out to me as not a particularly great lyric that I would say was a great lyric. I just find it slightly... what is it? A mole digging in a hole, digging down excavation.
Yeah.
I am something elevation.
Yeah, a mole digging in a hole, digging up my soul now, going down excavation.
It doesn't,
higher now than the sun.
There's just something about it that's a bit awkward, isn't there? It doesn't really quite flow or something. It's just
not. There's a couple of lines in that song. So because
it's great live though. That song, it does work really well live.
I can imagine, but because of that, I've forgiven Noel G for the I can see a liar
standing by the fire. I actually really like everything else about that track. I think I really like the sound and the verses and everything and the vocal from Liam. There's an arguably even better version. There's a live version of that song, I Can See a Liar, which is on YouTube. It's done on a TV show. Can't remember where. But it's very, very good. I think, rocks.
It's quite muddy, isn't it, that song? It's quite swampy.
I do like that. Here's another one that I hadn't played in a long time.
Oh, what's that?
And this is
Billy Bragg.
Billy Bragg and Wilco. So this was Volume 2. This is Mermaid Avenue Volume 2. The Volume 1 came out in, I think, 98. And to cut the story very short, Woody Guthrie, of course, the folk legend, wrote all those political protest type songs and was an inspiration for the folk movement that followed in the US. And obviously Bob Dylan was a big fan of Woody Guthrie. And then Woody Guthrie's family, years after he died, found these lyrics that had no music. They were just stuff he'd written down on paper. Yeah. So they then got Billy Bragg, who was a Woody Guthrie super fan, and the band Wilco, who were also obviously super fans, invited them to collaborate on writing music to these words and to create songs out of them and make these albums. So Billy Bragg kind of acts as the lead singer of Wilco on some of the tracks, and Jeff Tweedy of Wilco sings on the other sort of half of the tracks.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, do you remember you obviously attended my dad's 80th last year?
Yeah.
And his cousin he was speaking to, Simon, he plays with Billy Bragg.
Oh, yeah, he's a big folky, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, lives not that far away from him. Billy Bragg, the socialist with his big house. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, so they all got one of those.
Yeah.
So it's quite good. I haven't got quite fully back into it yet, but it's probably about as good as the first one. I think.
I do remember those albums coming out, and I don't think I ever listened to them.
I think they did it all together as one big project, and then they just released half of it as Volume 1 and the other half as Volume 2. So I don't think they reconvened to do Volume 2. I think it was all done together, but I may be wrong. If you're a Billy Bragg or Wilco expert and you can correct me on that, let me know. But
I can ask Simon. Simon, if you're watching, which
he
should
might
be,
know.
Find out for us.
And then I thought we'd have to have. I thought we need to have a female artist in there.
Go on.
tick the diversity boxes. So I went a bit goth.
Oh, PJ Harvey. And do you know something about
PJ?
PJ Harvey? She's from Bridport, which is just up the road from Billy Bragg, which is by West Bay. They're all in the same area,
They're all,
Bridport. In
all
fact,
down indoors. They're all on the Jurassic coast, are they?
yeah, I've bought quite a few albums from down in West Bay. There's a nice in Bridport. There's a nice couple of big record shops in Bridport. So
Is that a good place to go to charity shops to get CDs? Because it'll all be like cool music, man.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's very good for Beano albums. I bought quite a few Beano albums down there. But they've got these really cool record shops. I think they're owned by the same people. One does lots of second-hand records, and the other one does mainly new ones. But that's where I got a few bootleg Oasis albums from, and that from there.
Right. Well, this is my PJ Harvey Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea. This is the special edition. Now, I don't know what's special about it because it's just a bog standard single CD. In a normal case. And the only thing I can think that might be special is it's got this song at the end there called The Wicked Tongue. I don't know whether that's on the other versions.
Yeah, well, maybe PJ Harvey comes around and punches you in the face every time you put it on. So I have that album and I have listened to it, but not for a long time. But I always remember when it came out, because it came out obviously 2000. I don't even have to guess. And I remember it being in Q magazine, etc. And I've always had a thing for PJ Harvey. But yeah, I know I probably need to listen to that again. There's so much music, you just run out of time, don't you? That's the trouble. But I have listened two of mine. So I've already mentioned one, so you'll get 50% of this question right. But I've listened to two bands that are quite divisive for people. One I've already mentioned. Who is the second one?
So I guess the first one was U2.
Yes.
Well, in a similar category, a band that gets a similar. I'll be thinking of a band that's also had massive popularity and played massive concerts in stadiums and had huge success and been played on the radio lots and lots, and has therefore been slagged off for being far too popular and successful, and therefore declared uncool. Could we be talking about Coldplay?
We are talking about A1 90. Oh, yeah, Coldplay Parachutes. Gonna say it. What an album! I love that album. It is from the moment it starts off with just the opening chord. You live in a beautiful world.
Oh yeah.
I think it's possibly one of the best albums of all time. It's in the top 25, I'd say.
Really, that high?
Yeah. I just love the feeling of it and the sort of the ambience of it.
Well, it came in the top list that sort of the top 10 ones from 2000 that ChatGPT picked.
Yeah.
ChatGPT knows all my tastes, because I've told it everything that I like. Right?
No, you're doomed.
So it knows what I like. So it puts that as one of the albums that are most relevant to me. Now I don't know if I've ever listened to the whole album.
It's so good, and it's I always feel like it's like fragile. Like at any moment it could all just shatter and sort of crumble. But you've got things like Trouble and Yellow, and I just it's just. There's just something about that album. It's one of those albums when you put it on, you're like, why isn't this on all the time?
Well, no one had anything against Coldplay when they first came out, did they?
No.
They were seen as being perfectly acceptably good.
Yeah.
And it was kind of quite a. Was it even cool? I don't know whether it was cool, but it was fairly. It was certainly no one would sneer at you for having the Coldplay album.
No, and I went and it's up there because I can see it here and it's all lit up. I bought the globe, the light up globe, which is on the front cover being spun round. Such high regard that I hold the album in. I think it's just a very simple, not over sort of produced, sort of it's just melancholic album. It's just a very sort of, it's weirdly uplifting in a melancholic kind of way. And
That's is that the way to describe Coldplay generally?
yeah, I think so. I think they've got a bit more upbeat, haven't they? And a bit more poppy, especially
Yeah,
after the sort of, what was the album from about 2014 with maybe just split with Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, I can't remember now.
right.
But that album's a bit introspective. But yeah, so I listened to that, which is I love, and then I obviously listened to the band that Coldplay have sort of, you know, got close to in regards to their live shows and hatred by most people, and that was All That You Can't Leave Behind by U2, which was to be fair, I didn't feel as warm to it now, all these years later, compared to when I last listened to it. But there are some really great tracks on there. There's one on there which I can't remember what it was called, and I said to myself, remember it for Phil, and it just feels a bit of a filler track, like it doesn't really fit in there. But it's a really good, solid album. I really like it. There's a lot of anthems on there. It's like they went all out anthem.
Is it In a Little While?
No, because I quite like that one. Let me bring up the track listing, and I'll be able to tell you all that you can't leave behind. You
Is it
too.
a mellow
2000.
one or a sort of a rocking one?
It was I think it's a bit of a half and half one. It's around track 5 or 6, I think. But I will find it. All right, composition, elevation, tour, reception, writing, recording, track listing. Wild Kite, In a Little While, Wild Hunt. Was it Peace on Earth? I think it is Peace
It
on
might
Earth.
be
I
that
found
one.
that one a little bit sort of.
This is the one where you could argue it's a little bit Bono trying to be
Preaching.
Bono because
Yeah, yeah,
he also names the victims of the bombing, doesn't he? The
yes,
Omar bomb and all that. So he's sort of like, it's almost like, I want to do a tribute song, so I'm going to do it, and then it's kind of like it's maybe a bit too calculated, and then it comes off as being not somehow a bit inauthentic. Although I'm sure he meant it all, but
yeah,
I know
yeah.
what you mean. I can't say I've ever thought, wow, that's a U2 classic or a great U2 album track, to
Track.
put
No,
to put on a
no. And
list.
then when I look at the world, I kind of whether it's. But then I think out of its 11 tracks, I think they're all they're all
They're
decent.
mostly good, aren't they? They're mostly
Yeah,
very
yeah,
decent.
yeah. So I really I did really quite in yeah I do love that album still. I think it's a really really good. I think it's if you were just getting into U2, I would say that would be the album I'd say go listen to first because it's quite easily accessible.
It was, they felt that they were doing something that was back to basics, that they were getting just being in a room writing songs again rather than
Yeah,
trying to do
yeah.
a
I mean,
production.
if you look at the first 6 tracks, first 7 tracks, Beautiful Day, Stuck in a Moment, Elevation, Walk on, Kite, In a Little While, and Wild Honey. That's as good as a 7 track opening as you can get, really. Maybe it's my favourite album of 2000.
Maybe you need to play it again and see if you like it more, because you just said you didn't like it as much as you used to, but you still like
I
it.
know, but now I'm thinking I do like it as much as I used to,
You just
and
hadn't quite got reacquainted with it again.
yeah, maybe, yeah. It's like when you first meet somebody you haven't seen for 20 years, and you're like, yeah, remember that day? Yeah, and then you have a few beers, and you're like, oh yeah, we're back on it.
So maybe that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I've listened. So Staconia, all right, probably didn't catch me in the right mood. It's a bit.
I
Marshall
never
Mathers
really
album.
got That's OutKast. I never really got into OutKast.
The Speaker
Um,
Box and the Love Below, the double album from 2003, 4. It's a brilliant album. What an album that is. That's a really, really good album. Marshall Mathers LP, brilliant. U2, All That I Can't Leave Behind, brilliant. Coldplay, Parachutes, brilliant. I thought this was going to be easy. Turns out it's blinking ruddy hard. Yeah, I'm not liking it now. Hate the year
Not easy to
2000.
pick your favourite. I've still got a few to go through.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't even thrown Matchbox 20 into that yet either. And there's a few other, and I obviously haven't thrown my Oasis hat into the ring either. Because if I look back at the year 2000, that was probably the album I listened to more than anything. So, is that my favourite out? I don't know. I don't know, Phil.
It's got to be what's your favourite now, isn't it?
Yeah, can we stop this train and get off of it? I don't like it.
You can.
Please.
There's quite a few I've got to listen to. Do you know what else I've got to listen to according to the AI that's in line with my taste? That I've never heard. So I don't know whether I like them. Elliott Smith, Figure 8.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, so I have no idea. The White Stripes, although I've got quite a few White Stripes, I don't have this album. And it's called, I think pronounce it as, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Distill? It's STIJL. Distill? Is that Distill?
Any album that starts off with STI is...
It starts with DE. It's 2 words. Distill? Maybe it's Distill. Maybe it's pronounced Distill.
Distill, is it?
I can only think it's pronounced Distill, unless I've got this totally wrong and I'm missing the point completely. But I've not ever heard that album. I've heard all the ones before and after it, but not that one.
Yeah, I don't know think that really sort of...
I don't think it made a big impact at the time, somehow.
No.
And then there's an album by Amy Mann. Do you remember Amy Mann?
I do remember Amy, yeah.
This is not her first one, because that was around 93, wasn't it?
It is Die Stil. It's Dutch for the style. Yes, you've got the stils.
Yeah,
yes, Philips.
It is
got
Dutch.
to say it with a lisp like that, like you was from the challenge.
It is definitely Dutch. The Amy Mann album is called Bachelor Number 2 or The Last Remains of the Dodo.
Which is the oddest title of an album I think I've ever heard.
It's one of the oddest, apart from maybe the Fiona Apple one.
God, I remember Fiona Apple.
And then other ones that I should apparently listen to, that are slightly less familiar but are promising for my tastes. Grandaddy.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
The Software Stump. Modest Mouse.
Oh yeah, that's the pink album cover. I've got that one, I think.
The Moon in Antarctica.
Let's have a look.
And then the Avalanches.
Yes,
Since
that's
I
a
Left
great
You.
album.
So,
that's a really good album. Very avant-garde and a little bit out there. What was the song that they did? Is it The Alchemist or so? I can't remember. 1 second, dude. This boy needs therapy. That was it. That was the song. This boy needs therapy. Do you remember that song?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah, The Moon and Antarctica. The Moon and Antarctica. Is that the one I've got by Modest Mouse? No, I think I've got the next album after that. I don't think I have. No, I haven't got the one after it. I haven't even got that one. Which is the one I've got? I think it's Good News for People Who Love Bad News I've got. Yeah, it is, yeah. Good News for... I've got 2 Modest Mouse albums, actually, because Johnny Marr was in Modest Mouse, wasn't he?
He was at one time, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of Modest Mouse albums, one from the 2000s and one from a couple of years ago. So, yeah. What else is on your list?
There's also Yola Tengo.
Oh, yes.
And then Nothing Turned Itself Inside Out.
Yeah, didn't we listen to them for their albums of the 90s?
We did,
really
the one from the 97, we liked that.
Yeah.
And then in the pop category...
Ooh, pop.
I've not even really heard of Deborah Cox. Have you heard of her?
No.
I don't really know who she is. It must be an American one. And then they've got Madonna and Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Do I need to listen to Britney Spears?
Ooh.
Oops, I did it again.
Which Madonna album was it? Was it Music?
It's Music.
Yeah. Good album, that.
There's also Pink, Can't Take Me Home. I don't know whether I'm that much into all of the pop category for this one. I may have 1 or 2 of those. Obviously, I've already got the Madge one, but let's go into country and Americana, I'd probably just put these on and enjoy them, to be honest, because they're going to be country-ish, aren't they? Emmylou Harris, Red Dirt Girl by Emmylou Harris, Steve Earle, Transcendental Blues, Travis Tritt, Down the Road I Go. I'd probably just put it on and go, yeah, it's a good bit of country. I'd probably like them.
I think mid-2000s, I think around, was it mid-2000s? Oh, it might have been the 2010s. Remember that Glenn Campbell covers album that he did, where he did all Green Day and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that was a lot later, wasn't it? Yeah,
I think that was, yeah. So we've got a bit to be getting on with, haven't we?
There's a fair few, and there's a few hip-hop ones as well, including your favourite Eminem one.
That's a really good album.
Which I have got.
It is a very good album.
I might have to put that on.
I think it's going to be up there for me. I would put it in probably like top 5 2000s albums, but whether it will be my own personal favourite is another question that we'll need answering in 2 weeks' time.
There you have it, viewer, for now. Which albums of 2000 have we missed off our list? What do you think of our selections so far? Let us know in the comments. We always welcome them, good or bad. What we really like, though, is a like.
Yes.
And we absolutely love a subscribe, which, of course, in YouTube slang, YouTube terminology, I should say, subscribing does not mean paying. It just means following. So if you hit subscribe.
And also, for every subscribe we get, Phil gets a free hair follicle from the hair transplant clinic. So
it's as good a reason as any, isn't it, to click on that little red rectangle. Thank you for watching, viewer. All the best. Bye for now.